Okay, just click on this. Oh, acha, okay. There you go. Oh, acha, okay. Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for being here this afternoon. Today we are very, very fortunate to have with us again His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu ki Jai. His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, as we know, is a very senior and advanced Vaishnava in our society, and he's here to teach us about how to develop attentiveness and affection for Sri Harināma. So yesterday we heard about attentiveness, and today Prabhuji is going to talk about developing affection for Harināma. So how many of us are interested in developing affection for Harināma? Harināma! So let us very gratefully, enthusiastically and attentively hear from His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu. Let us welcome Hari Parshad Prabhu again for today's sessions by 3 times loudly chanting Harināma! 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 And traveling with Hari Parshad Prabhu is our very dear Mahabhav Prabhu from Austin. So let us welcome Mahabhav Prabhu also by 3 times loudly chanting Harināma! 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 Hare Krishna. I just talk to Prabhuji 1 second.
Yeah, sure. I'm okay with 15, but if the devotees should be okay, they should not feel.
Maybe we can ask about it.
Yeah.
So some devotees express that they have to leave little early after session 1. So how many of you would like Prabhuji to go both the sessions in one shot and maybe just take a 15-minute break? Okay. If that's okay, I think.
Yeah, I'm okay.
So let's do.
Okay, so we'll take a 15-20 minutes break after the first talk, and then.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Adhikadada Prabhu, for kindly introducing me. Thank you to also to Prabhu and Radhama Mataji for kindly inviting us at their home, arranging a stay at their home. Thank you Deepak Prabhu, Asha Mataji, Arav and Anvika, wonderful family, dear devotees. Let's give a big round of applause for the family. Thank you Mataji for kindly opening the doors of your home. Thank you Prabhu for kindly organizing the program. And wonderful home Prabhu, and so nice to hear that almost on every Friday there is a program organized here. So Sri Jiv Goswami says in Gopal Champu that grihasthas who open the doors of their home for organizing Harikatha, they are like the roses of Vrindavan. So the roses can be found everywhere, but there is something special about the roses in Vrindavan, and that is the fragrance. From a distance you can experience the fragrance of the roses. So Sri Jiv Goswami says that usually a bumblebee who's traveling here and there and who has no plans to stop in Vrindavan, but as soon as the bumblebee comes in contact with that fragrant rose, even from a distance, that rose attracts the bumblebee and the bumblebee decides to stay in Sri Vrindavan. So grihasthas are like that, who organize Harikatha. You open the doors of your home and there was nice fragrance coming from inside. This was not rose, but this was Prashadam. So I am a wandering bumblebee. I decided to stop, but thank you so much for kindly inviting me here. So you know I have come for Prashadam. All of just so that all of you know, I have come here for Prashadam. Thank you so much for kindly being here. Dear devotees, we are continuing from where we left off yesterday. Attention and affection for Sri Harināma. Yesterday we saw the first part which covered attention. Today we are continuing into the most important part, that is affection. But before we begin, there is Shishta Parampara, tradition established by the previous Acharyas, that we should perform Mangalacharan. So most of us know these verses. I'll follow in the tradition, I'll perform Mangalacharan. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Jnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामे गौरकृष्णे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, Thai Gaur Premanande. Thank you once again, devotees, for kindly being here. No program ideally begins without glorifying the most important part of the program, the most important entities in the program. Please tell me who is more important, speaker or the audience? Audience. Okay, everybody is hence proved. Since the audience is more important, it is. I'm very thankful to all of you. Because of all of you, the program is successful. And dear devotee Sri Rupa Goswami never failed to glorify his audience. So Sri Rupa Goswami, whenever he would write a new composition, he would glorify his audience. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he compared the Bhakti Ras to an ocean, and the devotees are compared to that fearless sharks who are swimming freely in the ocean. And then dear devotees, in Dan Keli Kaumudi, Sri Rupa Goswami says, dear devotees, please hear something and answer in yes or no. Alright, dear devotees? The ocean, he's speaking something about the ocean. He will ask a few questions about the ocean. And please say if these are true or not. Gabhira, the ocean is unfathomably deep. Yes?
Yes.
Ashrantam, but at the same time, the ocean is turbulent in many ways. Yes? Duradhigama para, it is very difficult to cross over and reach the other end of the ocean. Yes?
Yes.
Although it is so vast, still the ocean maintains fixed boundaries and never crosses over its fixed boundaries. Yes?
Yes.
But dear devotees, when the full moon rises on the horizon of the ocean is unable to sometimes contain its boundaries and it swells over and breaks its boundaries. Dear devotees, and dear devotees, the ocean is also a place of residence of Sri Hari, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Dear devotees, this is not a description of the ocean. This is a description of the hearts of all the Vaishnavas. Gabhira. The hearts of the Vaishnavas are unfathomably deep. Yes or no? Bolo, bolo. Yes. Don't speak for yourself, speak for others. The hearts of the Vaishnavas are unfathomably deep. Yes or no?
Yes.
Ashrantam, but they are a little turbulent because of separation from Krishna. Yes. Duradhigama paro. It is very difficult to reach the other end of the heart of a Vaishnava and find out really what they are feeling towards Bhagavan. And dear devotees, usually the devotees maintain firm, fixed boundaries of Vaidhi Bhakti which they don't cross over. And the devotees' hearts are also a place of residence of Shri Krishna, just like the ocean is. But dear devotees, when the full moon Krishna Chandra makes his first appearance in the hearts of the devotees are unable to maintain their boundaries of Vaidhi Bhakti. And they swell over in the form of tears, in the form of so many ecstatic emotions. And they display all the wonderful signs of crossing over into that spontaneous path of love of Shri Krishna. All of your hearts are like those oceans. I'm blessed to have such an audience. Thank you so much for kindly being present here. Dear devotees, I'll begin with a statement by Srila Prabhupada. Yesterday we saw the importance of attention. Today we are going to continue into affection. And Srila Prabhupada says something about numerical strength. And you have the mic?
Yes.
Please, in a lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam, 17 September 1976, Srila Prabhupada says something very true.
Goswamis, they kept a number, a numerical strength. Srila Haridas Thakur kept the biggest. Others, they also kept, but not so big. But because just like Srila Rupa Goswami, he had to write so many books. So he was not keeping such a big number as 3 lakhs. But there was some numerical. Similarly, we must have some numerical strength. And we have minimized. I know that you are coming from a different source. So according to time, according to circumstances, even there is no limit. You can chant more than 1600 times. There is no. But practically, we see that even chanting 16 rounds becomes difficult. So don't try to imitate, but do it properly. What is advised by your spiritual master? Without any offense. That mantra will save you from the dangers of Maya. That's a fact.
So Srila Prabhupada says this very important thing. Why 16? You can chant 1600 rounds. So we don't imagine beyond 300. But Prabhupada says, why 16 rounds? You can chant 1600 rounds. No problem, dear devotees. But we should ensure that in chanting those extra rounds, there should be attention, and the best thing would also to have affection. Then you can increase your rounds as much as you want. As much as you want, dear devotees. No problem. Let's say any other limb of bhakti, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's say there is one limb of bhakti, reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Now let's say if I am capable of reading Srimad Bhagavatam for 2 hours, dedicatedly. But after 2 hours, my mind switches off. And if I say no, I will read for 8 hours, even if it means for 6 hours I am reading mindlessly. So dear devotees, should we do that, or should we first bring attention and affection and then increase the number of hours of reading Bhagavatam? What should we do? First we should bring attention and affection in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we can increase the number of rounds or number of the duration of hours. Similarly, in our japa, Srila Prabhupada says, why 16? 1600, no problem. Huh? But he says sometimes practically you see even chanting 16 becomes little difficult for us. And we see we are struggling sometimes, devotees were asking yesterday, I cannot chant all 16 in one go. So that's a testament to the fact what Prabhupada is saying. Sometimes even 16 becomes difficult for some devotees. But Srila Prabhupada says, do what your Guru has advised by your spiritual master, and try to do without offense. That mantra will save us. And for those of us who don't have a Diksha Guru as of yet, we always have a Shiksha Guru in the form of a senior Vaishnava. So we should consult our Shiksha Guru, the Vaishnava who is guided, the Vaishnavas who are guiding us, and then we should take advice from them accordingly. And then that definitely will save us from all the difficulties. So this is what Srila Prabhupada said in this regard. Dear devotees, once again, we will do a recap of what was attentive japa defined yesterday. Many of us might have noted down this definition. It is in front of us. Please sing after me. Mano madhye sthito mantro, Mano madhye sthito mantro, mantra madhye sthitam manaha, Mantra madhye sthitam manaha, Mano mantra mantro. The mantra firmly situated in the mind, and mantra madhye sthitam manah, the mind firmly situated in the mantra. Mano mantra samayuktam, such a seamless combination of the mind and mantra is japa lakshanam, the characteristic of ideal, attentive japa. Dear devotees, at this point of time, I'd like to move ahead into affection. We have to move ahead into affection. Yesterday we saw 6 recommendations from the previous acharyas for attention, and I will do a recap of those 6. Dear devotees, please repeat after me what are those 6. First is, please repeat, Manaha Samharanam. That is concentration of mind. Second is Shaucham, internal and external cleanliness. Third is, dear devotees, Maunam, that is to keep silence between rounds, dear devotees. Fourth is Mantrartha Chintanam, to have an innate meaning of the mantra going on in the subconscious mind. Fifth, Avyagratvam, not be in a haste, don't rush it, dear devotees. And final, Anirveda, and don't be dejected if the results are not quickly attained. By these 6, we will progress very rapidly on the path. Dear devotees, a question is asked to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashay, and this is a very important question. And this is the question, dear devotees: which process should a practitioner who is full of anarthas follow for chanting the holy names? How many of us would like to know the answer to this question straight from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur? This answer is given by him in Jaiva Dharma, 40th chapter. So Prabhu, kindly read the answer that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashay gives.
Every day, a person should give up the disturbance caused by material enjoyment and chant with love for a while in a solitary place. Gradually, he should try to increase the duration of this process. Finally, a wonderful mood will be awakened in him and will remain all the time.
So this is what I have highlighted, the important parts. The first highlight I have done is every day. So japa must be done every day. A person should give up the disturbance caused by material enjoyment. Now, how do we give up the disturbance caused by material enjoyment, dear devotees? We can give up that disturbance. If we are disturbed early in the morning, yesterday I specified we can do something. What can we do, dear devotees? Pranayama. And that Hari Bhakti Vilas recommends the pranayama, and I specified what it is. And you give up the materials. Prabhu Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahasaya also says, first give up disturbance before you start your japa. And then chant with love. Now chant with love means we don't have love, we are chanting so that we can attain love. But what he is saying is chant with little affection. Little affection is needed. Alright, you may not have full scale love. Little affection is needed at this point of time. And you can chant in a group, dear devotees, that is also very nice. And gradually we should also have a culture of sometimes chanting in a solitary place. The japa traditionally is a solitary activity. We encourage each other by chanting in groups, because when we chant in groups, what happens is the time for chanting gets fixed, because everybody is scheduled at one particular time. So it helps in scheduling the time if you chant in a group. But then we should also have, there will be days when we will not be able to chant in a group. There will be certain days. And in those days we should also know how to chant in a solitary manner. And then gradually he should try to increase the duration of this process. He does not say gradually try to increase the number of rounds. He says gradually increase the duration of this entire process. So chanting is not just completing a certain number of rounds. Chanting is going through this entire process and then increase the duration. So when you increase the duration, obviously the number of rounds will also increase. So this is an entire process, dear devotees. Finally, a very wonderful mood will awaken, and then it will remain with us. And that mood will carry us further and further into chanting more and more Harināma. And that is so nice for those devotees who are wonderfully inclined to chant Harināma. I will specify the original Hindi, Prabhu. This is the original Hindi from the Jaiva Dharma. Please read the original Hindi.
गोस्वामी, प्रतिदिन नियमित रूप से कुछ समय तक निर्जन में बैठकर विषय रूपी उत्पात को दूर हटाकर भाव के साथ संख्या पूर्वक नाम करना। धीरे धीरे इस कार्य का समय क्रमशः बढ़ाते जाना। अंत में सब समय ही एक अद्भुत भाव उदित होगा। उस समय उत्पात बुरे चिंतन समीप आने से डरेंगे।
So this is from the Jaiva Dharma, 40th chapter. So this is what he's saying. So how do you gradually develop affection? Thoda, it is a cultivation, a culture is needed at this point of time. Dear devotees, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also does the balance between quantity and quality. Another question is asked to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He says, is it beneficial to chant more rounds without any feelings and eagerness? So, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur gives the answer. Please read, Prabhu.
One should try hard to chant the holy names of Krishna clearly and lovingly, rather than trying to increase the number of rounds.
So, dear devotees, this does not mean that we will chant too less. Yesterday I told you one verse. We should not chant too less and also not too much. Here is where he is addressing the too much factor. So this is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur directly saying that first try to increase the quality, that is try to bring attention and affection, then you can increase your number as much as you want. Yesterday we saw also Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur started with one nirbandha. Nirbandha is how many rounds? Anybody remembers?
One round.
Nirbandha changes to grantha. Grantha is 4 rounds. Then we have 4 granthas, which is 16 rounds. And then finally we have 16 granthas, which is 64 rounds. And Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur took it all the way up to 300 rounds. 192 rounds. So that is how Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur gradually said. It will take decades to gradually reach that point, but worthy goal. It's a very worthy goal to be attained. So this is what Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is also advising here. At this point of time, dear devotees, we are lacking affection. We want affection. So how do we introduce some affection in our utterance of Bhagavan's Naam? It's a big question, dear devotees. How do we introduce affection in our chanting of Bhagavan's Naam? The Shastra gives one recommendation for that. Dear devotees, you can chant your 16 rounds, but after chanting your 16 rounds with as much attention as possible, think about one concept that Shastra has specified. This concept, dear devotees, please repeat after me. Swapriyanam. What is Swapriyanam, dear devotees? Swapriyanam is that name of Bhagavan which you personally feel is closest to your heart and which generates some feeling of affection automatically within your heart. That Naam is unique for everybody. So you may have a different Naam, Prabhu may have a different Naam, you may have a different Naam, but that Naam should be based on Krishna's pastimes in Sri Vrindavan. Devotees, that Naam is called Swapriya Naam. Now I'll ask a few questions. I'll try to ask all of you, some of you, which Naam of Bhagavan, and imagine that nobody is sitting here. Alright? Nobody is sitting here. You don't have to say Krishna. Just because if it is Krishna, you can say Krishna. But if it is any other Naam, then think about that Naam and please tell me which Naam appeals to you naturally the most. So we'll begin with Prabhu. Let's say Sachipran Gaura Prabhu. Radhesha. Wonderful. Okay. And then Prabhu, you are
Radha Shyam Sundar.
Shyam Sundar. Wonderful. Okay. Radha Shyam Sundar.
I think Krishna.
Krishna. Okay. Anybody else, Mataji?
Vasudev.
Vasudev. Right. See? Yes.
Anna.
Wonderful, huh? Wonderful. See, dear devotees, all masala is not garam masala. So everybody has different taste. Okay, dear devotees, it's very important. This concept is established in Shastra, Swapriyanam. In the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, the Vishnu Dutas say to Gopakumar. Please repeat after me. Sarvesham Bhagavan Namnam Samano Mahima Piche Tathapi Swapriyenashu Swartha Siddhi Sukham Bhave Sarvesham Bhagavan Namnam. All names of Bhagavan, Saman Mahima. What is the meaning of Saman Mahima? Equally glorious. So you can't say that, Radhe Sham is more glorious than Krishna or Govind is more glorious than Gopal. But still, Tathapi, Swapriyena, you can have your, which naam? Swapriya. Ashu Swartha Siddhi, very quickly you will attain the goal by Swapriyanam. Sukham Bhavet, very easily you will attain. Here is the translation by Gopi Prandan Prabhu. Please read the translation.
Though all names of the Lord are equally great, a devotee most quickly, most easily achieves his goals by chanting the name he himself holds most dear.
Oh, wonderful. Now, dear devotees, there is something special about Swapriyanama. What is special is that you feel that name belongs to me, isn't it? That name is mine. Nobody else took that name. That name is mine. And when you, that feeling, mine, is in relationship with Bhagavan's Naam. Can you imagine that? There is one Naam in the world to which we have a feeling that that Naam is mine. Why? You said, Radhe Sham. You definitely feel that there is something special about that name which is not, you don't feel in other names. And that is that it is mine. And as soon as I feel it is mine, then whenever you have free, ki shayane, ki bhojane, ki vajagarane, whenever you are free, you chant that particular naam. There is nothing else, dear devotees. Swartha Siddhi, very easily you will attain. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru, Sri Ishwar Puri, told him that the most essential secret of the Bhagavatam lies in Swapriyanam. Believe it or not, this is the verse which Sri Ishwar Puri said, that is the effect of chanting Swapriyanam. This is the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam according to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dear devotees, this verse from the Bhagavatam. Evam vratah swapriyanama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchai asatyathoro rauti gaya Unmadavan nrityati lokabhaya Evam vrata, somebody who is determined in this way. Swapriya Nama Kirtya, by chanting, by doing kirtan of which naam, dear devotees? Jat Anuraga. Finally they develop Anurag. They develop a very deep, innate, natural affection for Bhagavan. And Druta Chitta, their heart melts, and then Uchchai Hasati, sometimes such a devotee loudly laughs. Atho Roditi, sometimes the devotee cries. Rauti shouts. Gayati sings. Unmadavan Nrityati, and dances like a madman. Lokabahya, for he is completely indifferent to public opinion now. Here is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read what the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto says.
A person who has taken a sacred vow of singing names of the Lord that are dear to him finds his heart melting in love and genuine attachment to the Lord. Sometimes such a person laughs loudly, at other times he cries or screams out or bursts out in songs of devotion and dances like a madman. Such an unconventional devotee has gone beyond the ways of the world.
So, dear devotees, how many of us would like to be such a madman? Please raise your hands. Would like to be such a madman, isn't it? Evam vrataha swapriyanam kirtya. That you chant Bhagavan's naam with swapriyanam. This naam is one which you feel it belongs to me, it is mine. So this feeling of I and mine is called mamatva. Mamatva means that you chant with that feeling that this name is exclusively mine. Every devotee should have the feeling that in the spiritual world, Krishna loves me the most and I love Krishna the most. Dear devotees, this feeling should be there with each and every one of us. How many of us would like to have this feeling that Krishna loves me the most and I love Krishna the most? Please raise your hand, dear devotees. So everybody wants to have that feeling. I'll break from the presentation at this point spontaneously because I like to show a verse from the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, a verse which specifies this very fact. In the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, it is said, please repeat after me. Balakas taruna vriddha. Balakas taruna vriddha. Gopaste koti kotishaha. Gopaste koti kotishaha. Sarve vidur mahapreya. Sarve vidur mahapreya. Aham krishnasya netaraha. Aham krishnasya netaraha. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
Every one of the millions and millions of cowherds, the children, young people and elders thinks, I alone am most dear to Krishna.
Oh, dear devotees. This is Swartha. This is what we want with Bhagavan, isn't it? Yeah, we are all servant of servant. That's okay. That's okay. But deep down inside, we all want to have this feeling, isn't it? Bhagavan loves me the most, nobody else. And I love Bhagavan the most, nobody else. Acha, how can Krishna reciprocate with so many people who are having the same desire? So, in the next verse, it is said, Tathaiva vyavaharopi Tesham Krishne sadekshate Pratyekam teshu tasyapi Vishuddhastadrigeva saha. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Just as the pure way they behave toward Krishna always confirms this ecstatic mentality, so does the way he behaves toward every one of them.
So just as they behave towards Krishna, for them who is the most important person? Krishna. So Krishna also behaves like that. Krishna says, you are the most important person for me. You are the most important person. Acha, doesn't Krishna be fake when he is dealing like this with everybody? No. So Sri Sanatana Goswami says, Vishuddha. Krishna's behavior is not fake. Krishna's behavior is what, dear devotees? Pure. When he will look at you and say that you alone are the dearmost, he'll actually mean it. That you alone are the dearmost, nobody else, dear devotees. He will genuinely mean it when he says it. And there will be no, Bhagavan, one thing which Bhagavan doesn't have is Bhagavan doesn't do fake dealings with the devotees. The devotees don't do fake dealings with Bhagavan, Bhagavan doesn't do fake dealings with the devotees. So dear devotees, all of this happened by uttering Swapriyanam. I hope you are able to understand. All of this happened by uttering Swapriyanam. Achha, I will tell you one small secret. Once you start loving one name of Bhagavan and you start relishing it, gradually you will find that other names are also becoming Swapriyanam. Start with one. I hope you are able to understand. Start with one Swapriyanam. When you are alone, dear devotees, sing it. It's between you and Bhagavan. Sing when you are alone. Because in that Naam you have Aham and Mama. Feelings of I and mine are involved. What are the feelings? I am Krishna's and Krishna is Aham and Mama, which is usually involved with the material world. Invest that feeling with Swapriyanam. Invest that ego with Bhagavan's Naam. This is the Naam which I like. This is the Naam which I like. So then you will have that feeling of I and mine with Bhagavan. Wonderful, dear devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Eta boli eka shloka Shikhaila more Bhagavater sarai Bale bare bare.
Saying this, my spiritual master taught me a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the essence of all the Bhagavatam's instructions. Therefore, he recited this verse again and again.
Dear devotees, evam vratah sva priyanama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchchaye asatyathauroditiravtigaya Unmadavan nrityati lokabhaya. Dear devotees, this was the verse. This was the verse. This is the Kendra Bindu, the central point of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have reached the focal point of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have zoomed into the focal point of Srimad Bhagavatam. And you can see that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a personification of this verse of the Bhagavatam. If any verse of the Bhagavatam describes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course it is Krishna Varnam Krishna Krishna. But also what describes his practice is this verse, dear devotees. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sing Swapriya Nam, used to glorify Swapriya Roop, Swapriya Gun, Swapriya Lila. That is what he did. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had favorite poets. Can you name the favorite poets of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Chandidas, Vidyapati, Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur, Jayadeva Goswami. How can you have favorites? You are supposed to treat all the names similar, isn't it? Why not Ishwar Puri? The devotees know. When it comes to Swapriya Nam is a very highly individual thing. You can't legislate to somebody else what their Swapriya Nam should be. Swapriya Nam is a very individual thing, devotees. So you select Swapriya Nam. And once you have Swapriya Nam, then Kirtya. When you are alone, sing it with that feeling of affection, belongingness to Bhagavan. Jat Anuraga. Gradually Anuraga will come. Nobody will need to tell you to increase your number of rounds. You will do yourself. Self-discipline is the best discipline. A stick in your own hand, dear devotees, for disciplining yourself. That is the best. So that works very well, dear devotees. Swapriya Nam Kirtya. So this is the same verse, Bhagavater Sar, dear devotees. This is that same essence of Srimad Bhagavatam that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Dear devotees, therefore Sri Jiva Goswami specifies there are two types of utterances of Nam. This is from the 6th canto of Bhagavatam. Please repeat. Shri Bhagavan Nama Grahanam Halu Vidha Bhavati. Dear devotees, Shri Bhagavan Nama Grahanam, the utterance of Bhagavan's Nam is Vidha. How many types, dear devotees? 2 types. Please repeat after me first. Kevalatvena, which is mere utterance of syllables. You can do, which means you are uttering the syllables and you are also attentive. Kevalatvena. And second, please repeat after me. Sneha samyuktatvena, imbued with sneha, affection. Dear devotees, this is his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 2nd chapter. This is the episode of Ajamila. Why is Sri Jiva Goswami saying this in this particular episode? The reason why he is saying is because Ajamil chanted somebody's name. Whose name did he chant? Son's name. When he chanted his son's name, Narayan's name, although he was being dragged by the Yamadutas, suddenly the Vishnudutas came. And why did the Vishnudutas come? To answer this point, Sri Jiva Goswami is saying, because Ajamil's name, the name that he uttered, had something mixed in it. What did it have mixed in it, devotees? Affection was mixed. Acha. He was not addressing Bhagavan. He was addressing his son. And the affection was directed towards his son. This is called Nam Abhas. You utter the name, but the personality you are indicating is not Bhagavan. The personality you are indicating is somebody else. Bhagavan is so merciful, he took that affection that he had directed towards his son upon himself. And Bhagavan said, alright, even though he has uttered his son's name, I will make sure that I take the affection as it is upon myself. And Bhagavan sends the Vishnudutas to rescue Ajamil, dear devotees. If Ajamila would have chanted without affection, this would not have happened. Dear devotees, please tell me, what was the main factor in Ajamila's utterance of Nam that brought the Vishnu Dutas? Affection, Sneha. This is missing, dear devotees. This salt of affection is missing from our day-to-day utterance of Harināma. It is tremendously missing. We should not serve bland food items to any guest. Why are we serving bland Harināma to Bhagavan? We have to add the salt. You don't add salt too much. Little. Thoda. Little affection is needed. Dear devotees, little affection is needed. So this point is very important. Very, very important. And you cannot mechanically put in that affection. Something in the heart has to change. Something has to change within the heart. I can't give you a mechanical regulated exercise for bringing affection. If I could, believe me, I would have written a book on it by now. And would have claimed to be the first author to find a mechanical solution to bringing affection in the heart. But no, I cannot do that. Dear devotees, therefore, we should understand, dear devotees, that right now we are performing bhakti, but it is without affection. Right now there is very little affection. And this type of bhakti, dear devotees, is defined by Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yatra ragana vaptatva pravrittirupajayate shasanenaiva shastrasya savaidhi bhaktiruchyate yatra raga anavaptatvat. In that bhakti in which raga is not present. What is not present, dear devotees? Raga. What is raga? It's a very important question. Affection, you can say. Dear devotees, raga refers to a deep red color. Can you see this color, dear devotees? In Sanskrit, this is called raga. This is the color of love, dear devotees. This is raga. The color of prema. How many of our hearts have this color towards Bhagavan? My heart has this color, dear devotees. I want my heart to have this color, dear devotees. Rag. So rag is that deep reddish color of genuine attachment. Yatra rag anavaptatvat. Wherever rag is not present, but pravritti rupajayate, still there is a tendency to do bhakti. Don't we all want to do bhakti, dear devotees? Yes. But we don't have rag. But still we have a tendency to perform bhakti. What is the reason? Shasane naiva. Shasan, the dictations, shastrasya. Who has given the dictations? Shastra. Perform bhakti. Otherwise, and you don't want to see the otherwise. You don't want to see the otherwise. Shasane naiva shastrasya. Sa vaidhi bhakti ruchyate. That is known as which bhakti, dear devotees? Vaidhi. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
Due to lack of rag, innate attachment for Krishna, an individual's proclivity for bhakti arises exclusively due to dictations of Shastra. Bhakti performed with such a proclivity is known as Vaidhi Bhakti.
So, dear devotees, this bhakti is very glorious because this is the bhakti that brought all of us here. What is the name of that bhakti, dear devotees? Vaidhi. It's not that we were walking on the street one fine day, we found rag and just, we started. No. We started on the platform of which bhakti? Vaidhi. We always remain grateful to this bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti. This is the bhakti that pulled us in. Because Shastra threatened. You want to come back to God, yes or no? You want to be free from the misery? Yes or no? Chalo, aao. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. That really is. Badish Amish Nyay. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says. Badish Amish Nyay. Badish is hook of fishing hook. You want to catch fish. Now, fish is a pure substance or impure substance? Impure. To catch an impure substance, you have to attach something impure on the hook. You can't put halwa on the hook. You have to put something impure on the hook. So when you put something impure on the hook, then the impure fish is attracted, then you pull it out. Right? Then you can cut open and clean the fish entirely. I hope you are able to understand. That's how. What is Amish Nyaya? So we were which fish did? Pure or impure? What were we impure? So sadhan bhakti gave us Amish. Ajao. Back to Godhead, yes or no? Huh? Freedom from misery, yes or no? Chalo, come. We got attracted. We are on this path now. Prabhupada used to say, all of you are hopelessly attached, isn't it? Huh? Now you cannot give up. But sadhan bhakti did that. Hook was the hook. Vaidhi bhakti was that hook which brought us in. Because it was backed by Shastra. And Shastra was speaking the truth. But dear devotees, this is not the highest motivation. Something is missing, dear devotees. What is missing, dear devotees? Rag. And I told you, rag is this deep reddish color, also means rag, and deep innate attachment is also called as rag. Sri Jiva Goswami defines what is rag. Please repeat after me. Vishayinah Svabhaviko Vishaya Samsarga Ichha Atishayamaya Prema Raga. Now let's define rag. Sri Jiva Goswami gives such a definition, each and every one will say, I know what is rag. Wonderful definition. Here, dear devotees. All of you want to experience what is rag, yes or no? Dear devotees. Vishayinaha Svabhaviko Vishaya Samsarga Ichha Atishayamaya. The natural, innate, deep, organic attachment that sense gratifiers have for objects of sense gratification is rag. I hope you are able to understand. How many of us have natural, deep attachment for sense enjoyment? Please raise your hand. Oh, wonderful. I am raising both my hands like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted me to. So, in Bhagavad Gita, this is called rag. Gita means there is rag and dvesh. So, this is that rag. But this is not the rag. This is the rag towards material world. And he gives an example. Yatha chakshur adinam saundarya adav. Just as eyes are helplessly attracted to beauty. I remember I was in brahmachari training. See, I remember those days. Or we have brahmachari training. And sometimes one boy, let's say, we would be going on a trip. And sometimes there would be a boy who was taking training with us. And sometimes we would be going on a trip, and sometimes a boy would see there's a good looking girl. So, sometimes you keep looking like this. So, our leader, he would pull their hair like this. I remember so many boys were corrected. And so the leader would say, don't become a radar. Yeah, so like that. So this is what you call rag. Dear devotees, this is what is rag. But this is rag in which world, dear devotees? Material world. Tadrisha eva atra bhaktasya Shri Bhagavati api raga. If the same intensity of attachment is present towards Bhagavan, then that is the rag in the spiritual world which is needed. That intensity of rag is needed, dear devotees. So here is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
The innate deep attachment that sense gratifiers have for objects of sense gratification is known as rag. Example, the attachment of eyes towards beauty. Similarly, the innate deep attachment of a devotee towards Bhagavan is also known as rag.
So dear devotees, we have to have rag, and this rag we want to have towards Bhagavan. Unfortunately, at this point of time, this rag is only in which objects? Material. What to do? Dear devotees, a person becomes attached to another person by staying in contact with a person who is already attached. I'll give you an example. Let's say there is a lady who has not yet given birth to a child, very young lady, not yet given birth to a child. She goes and stays at the home of a lady who has given birth to 3 children, triplets. And she stays with that lady for 1 week. After 1 week, she will also have some attachment towards the kids. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? This is simply because she associated with the lady who already had that attachment in her heart. So it is of utmost importance that we should know that in order to have affection towards Bhagwan, it is best to have association of a devotee who already has that affection. And from the heart of that devotee, it comes onto our heart. That is how it works, dear devotee. And once it is there in our heart, then it is there with us forever. Little affection is needed. Sri Rupa Goswami is not saying big amount of affection. How much affection is needed? Little. I have always given this example. Suppose you have a big bowl of milk and you want to turn it into yogurt, curd. For curd, do you need a lot of curd or initially you need to add little curd? How much do you need? And over time, only time is needed. That little curd will change the entire milk into what? Curd. Shiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat. Little affection is needed in the beginning. Gradually, it will take over your heart. Dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada used to give that example. A person who doesn't have the habit of drinking can become a big drunkard. But they have to associate with an existing drunkard. In the teachings of Queen Kunti, he said, nobody goes and starts drinking themselves. You know? They say, Arey, chalo, what are you doing? Are you free today? And then, little. Prabhupada said, then little. Gradually, he says, just as a small drunkard becomes a big drunkard, a small devotee becomes a big devotee. There's a quote like that. In this way, thoda. Initially, little. I hope you're able to understand. Thoda, that is what we have to do. Later, naturally, you will become more advanced on that. Dear devotees, this level of rag is not present with any of us. We want to have, it is not present with any of us. It is only present with the eternal associates of Krishna. Alright? Eternal associates. Can you name a few eternal associates of Krishna, dear devotees? Madhu Mangal. That's a very special associate. Alright, Sudama. So the eternal associates of Krishna, they have this raga towards Bhagwan. They are willing to lay their life for Bhagwan. Devotees. They are the ones who have that feeling of I and mine invested deeply in Bhagwan. Now all we have to do is follow their mode, dear devotees, in association of a devotee who is already following that mode. And then you can get that affection. Dear devotee, this bhakti has a name. The name of this bhakti, dear devotees, is called Raganuga Bhakti. What is it called, dear devotees? I want to make something clear about Raganuga Bhakti. When we are new on the path, before initiation, we should strictly practice the variety of bhakti that was mentioned previously. Which bhakti, dear devotees? Unless we learn how to strictly practice Vaidhi Bhakti. Because 99% of the rules of Vaidhi Bhakti are going to carry forward into which bhakti, dear devotees? Raganuga Bhakti. So first, the base should be very strong. Because if we are thoda dulmul in Vaidhi Bhakti, dila dala, it cannot work. We should have a very good base of Vaidhi Bhakti. Previously, the gurus, they used to train the disciples very well in Vaidhi Bhakti. I often, sometime yesterday also, I often quote funny incidents from when I was taking brahmachari training. But that training had an effect on me which I really appreciate a lot. The effect that it had on me was that it made it very easy to wake up at any time in the night. Any time of the night, wake up without complaining. I hope you're able. We were woken up so many times at different points of time in the night over a period of 4 or 5 years. We did not have that concept of, no, this is my privacy. How dare you wake me up at 2:30 in the morning? We didn't have that concept. As a student, we couldn't afford to have privacy. We couldn't afford to have privacy. I used to stay in the base. Base means you are given one cupboard. This is the size of that cupboard. That cupboard. You have to put all your belongings there and then stay, and on the mat you sleep. And for many years, Vaidhi Bhakti, rigorous Vaidhi Bhakti. So military trained, like that. So that military training also, initially, if you have it, it is needed. If you can have it, dear devotees, it is very essential because that prepares you, and then you can fly, dear devotees. If you have the proper attitude, then you can fly. But if you're slack in that, like if you don't like those limbs of bhakti, waking up for Mangalarti, you don't like them, then there is a slight problem, dear devotees. The slight problem is somebody has not explained to us the value of those limbs of bhakti. So we should understand the value even of Vaidhi Bhakti. It is that bhakti which is protecting us when what is not present, dear devotees? Raga. It is that bhakti which is having our back when rag is not present. If Vaidhi Bhakti takes back her hand, we'll be nowhere. I hope you are able to understand. So we are very grateful to which bhakti, dear devotees? Vaidhi Bhakti. It protects us. But there is something beyond Vaidhi Bhakti. Don't forget at the same time, alright? There is something beyond Vaidhi Bhakti. You can't stay in college forever. Someday you have to go out and work. I hope you are able to understand. Srila Prabhupada says something. Prabhu, kindly read what Srila Prabhupada says.
Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti. The more you are engaged in devotional service, the more your senses become pure or uncovered. And when it is completely uncovered, without any designation, then you are capable to serve Krishna. This is apprenticeship. Vaidhi Bhakti. That is apprenticeship. Real Bhakti, Para Bhakti, that is Raganuga Bhakti. This Raganuga Bhakti, we have to come after surpassing the Vaidhi Bhakti.
So Prabhupada is very clear. We have to come to another platform gradually. And what is the name of that platform, dear devotees? So, but that bhakti you cannot get so easily. Because for that bhakti you need to be in close guidance of a devotee who's already on that level. And that devotee will first tell you, did you get your Vaidhi Bhakti nicely? He'll ask you one thing. Did you get your Vaidhi Bhakti nicely? Do you know the 64 limbs of Vaidhi Bhakti? So then we should be comfortable with those 64 limbs of Vaidhi. Then the devotee will examine whether we have genuine desire to advance. And then a person will be given that path, dear devotees. So, and bhakti doesn't require too much austerity. Little austerity is there. Very little, minimized. It is not too much austerity. If you have to see real austerity, you go to Kumbh Mela, they have Panchagni. You know what is Panchagni? Under the blazing sun, they will sit with 5 fires around them. They will not eat throughout the day with one hand raised in the sky. I hope you are able to understand. That is called austerity. You waking up at 3:30 is nothing, dear devotees. We think it's a big thing. We are spoiled and pampered ourselves. We think it's a big thing to wake up at 3:30. Oh, I need to have at least 6 hours of rest. So we are, it's okay. Yesterday I said, if you want to have 6 hours of rest, the best way to have 6 hours of rest is sleep early. Right? But don't give yourself that privilege. No, I am privileged enough to have at least 8 hours of rest or something like that. If you want to have rest, take rest early. But if someday you have to wake up early for Mangalarti or whatever, so then you have to wake up early, dear devotees. That is Vaidhi Bhakti. Apprenticeship, and then you cross over into which Bhakti? Raganuga Bhakti. I really sometimes disliked it. When I was being in training, I disliked it. Why do I have to wake up at 3:30? And if you wouldn't wake up, dear devotees, I was in that training, you have to write Hare Krishna Mahamantra 50 times. That was the result of not waking up on time. So sometimes I would write 50 times in the night itself. Next morning you can say. people would not let me sleep. Somebody will come. Ji, ja, do. I have written 50 times. Ji, bhago. Like that. But that training is good. It is very good. So we should have that training. We should definitely have that training. And dear devotees, please don't shy away from that training. We should definitely practice Vaidhi Bhakti very nicely, according to the capacity of our body. Alright? Don't perform it in such a way that you harm your body, hurt yourself. But little stretching of body in your prime years of life is definitely needed. If you're very old, aged, then you may not do it so much. But if you're young, fresh blood, then do as much as possible. Alright, dear devotees, please. All the young blood. Vaidhi Bhakti. Alright. Dear devotees, therefore, Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, what is the process of finding that raga, that attachment to Bhagavan? Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur specifies. Nijapeksha Shreshta Shuddha Nijapeksha Shreshta Shuddha Bhavukaye Jana Bhavukaye Jana Bhava Marge Guru Deva Bhava Marge Guru Deva Sei Mahajana Sei Mahajana Nij Apeksha Shreshta Shuddha Bhavukaye Jana. That a Rasik Bhakta who is superior to oneself is indeed that Mahajan, that great devotee who can act as a guru on the path of attaining affection, dear devotees, towards Bhagavan. So you need to come in contact with a person who's already having that affection. I can't emphasize this enough. I didn't make it up by myself. I am saying because the previous acharyas have said it, dimdima, with beating the drums they have said. You can't produce it by your effort. This is how it is. Next. Tahar Shri Mukhe Bhava Tahar Shri Mukhe Bhava Tatvera Shravana Tatvera Shravana Aile Shravana Dasha Aile Shravana Dasha Haya Prakatana Haya Prakatana Tahara Shri Mukhe, from his auspicious mouth of a devotee who is already established on the path, who has that loving attachment for Bhagavan. Bhava Tatvera Shravan, when you will hear, dear devotees, about the moods of the Brajavasis, about the Tattva of Raganuga Bhakti, Haile Shravana Dasha Hai Prakatan, you will develop the first stage of Raganuga Bhakti, which is called as which Dasha? Shravana Dasha. In Shravana Dasha, you will feel that innate hunger. I want to hear about Bhagavan. That hunger is awakened at that point of time. He produces that hunger, dear devotees. I hope you're able. See, it's all connected. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes are like a sugar candy. Yeah, sugar candy cures which disease, dear devotees? Jaundice. Do you know what jaundice? One of the main symptoms of jaundice. Somebody is affected by jaundice. He says, I don't want to eat. How many of you have had jaundice? I don't want to eat. मुझे कुछ इच्छा नहीं खाने की. As soon as this guru comes and from him you hear the sugar candy of Tannama Rupa Charitadi, jaundice is cured. And as soon as jaundice is cured, the first thing that a patient who's cured of jaundice asks, what does he or she ask for? I want to eat. See, I also had jaundice at one point of time. Actually, my mother cooked all the good things for me. I said, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat at all. So my father, he knew one Ayurvedic Vaidya. He used to stay in Lonavala near Mumbai. So my father said, he called him and said, my son has jaundice, what can we do? So he said, come early morning, just before sunrise, I will give some medicine. But come before sunrise. So I remember we drove in a car, in the middle of the night we drove, and then he was crushing the medicine. And at that time, he spoke some mantra, and as soon as there was sunrise, he said, look at the sun. And then he pulled my head up, and in the nostrils he put 2 drops each. And then he gave a white cloth and said to my father, go home, he will be cured in half an hour. If there is some discharge that comes from his nose, they use the white cloth. And they said, all right. So we sat back, and after a few minutes, there's a yellow discharge started coming from the nose. I'm just wiping. The cloth is half filled with yellow liquid. And after half an hour, I told my father, I said in Marathi, "Mala bhuk lagli." I'm very hungry. So I remember that vivid. That person, that Vaidya, I'll tell the name also. Very famous. Later he became very famous. His name was Balaji Tambe. Right? So he's very famous. But my father knew him when he was not so famous. Later he became very famous. He wrote a book on Garbha Samskar. So he's very famous. So he was the one who cured jaundice. He's a very well-known Vaidya. And I have, because I know jaundice has no cure in allopathy. There is no cure. The only cure of jaundice is in Ayurveda. And Sri Rupa Goswami's example is based on that very disease of jaundice. And it resonated with me after so many years that when you have a proper Vaidya who gives you that medicine, by my own effort I cannot drive away my jaundice. That's a fact. You need a Vaidya to drive away your jaundice. Devotees. So Shravana Dasha, then you will feel the hunger. I want to hear about Bhagwan. Nobody will need to tell you. I want to hear about Bhagwan more and more. Then, dear devotees, Radha Krishna Ashta Kala, Radha Krishna Ashta Kala, Yai Leela Kare, Yai Leela Kare, Ahare Shravane Lobha, Ahare Shravane Lobha, Vayata Pare, Vayata Pare. Then you will have Lobha. I want to know what Radha and Krishna do 24 hours a day. Dear devotees, when that desire has developed intensely, you have attained the qualification for Raganuga Bhakti. You have attained that affection, dear devotees. And when that affection has arisen, then there is no looking back. Then just ensure one thing, that you don't commit any aparadh towards Vaishnavas. That's it. Your path is clear. You can run freely. And Guru will protect you from all the mistakes that can be made, dear devotees. Now, how many of us would like to have this experience of Bhakti, dear devotees? Isn't it? You all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came on this planet to give this variety of Bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the planet to give this variety. And dear devotees, it doesn't take decades. A few years, dear devotees, of seriousness can help us achieve this. Few years of serious bhajan with the proper attitude can help us achieve this. Mahaprabhu, he knew Mandaha Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Prayan Alpayusha. Alpayusha means the residents of Kali Yuga have very little, short life. In short life you have to do, dear devotees. Short life. Somebody of us, dear devotees, may have only 10 years in this assembly. We don't know. In this assembly, we don't know. Somebody, one of us may be having only 10 years remaining. Bolo, shouldn't they become eligible for this bhakti? It shouldn't take long time. Proper attitude is needed. Dear devotees, therefore, when that happens, Shravan Dasha manifests. And Shravan Dasha manifests, you are eager to listen to Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. Dear devotees, although we are yet to attain Lobha, but how does that look when we have attraction for Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes? Dear devotees, suddenly the devotee becomes interested in hearing Krishna's Leela. Have you heard about Krishna's childhood, dear devotees? How many of you would like to hear something about Krishna's childhood? Please raise your hand. It's very wonderful. Dear devotees, I'll tell you something about Krishna's childhood. One fine day, out of the blue, he picked up the flute and started playing. Just like that, dear devotees. I said nothing, no training period. Dear devotees. Just picked up the flute and started playing. I said, the elderly gopis, they noticed. This boy, suddenly one day he has picked up the flute and started playing. In the Ananda Vrindavan Champu, Sri Kavi Karnapur describes what the elderly gopis told that little Krishna as soon as he started playing the flute. It's a wonderful verse, dear devotees, in the meter Vasanta Tilakam. I'll try to sing. Please repeat after me. Hey Krishna Matra Kucha Chuchu Kachushane Pe. Hey Krishna Matra Kucha Chuchu Kachushane Pe. Nalam Yareta Dadharoshta Putam Tavasi. Nalam Yareta Dadharoshta Putam Tavasi. Tenadyate Katipayeshu Dineshvakasmat. Tenadyate Katipayeshu Dineshvakasmat. Kasmat Guroradhigatah Kalavenuvadah. Kasmat Guroradhigatah Kalavenuvadah. They're saying, Hey Krishna. Hey Krishna means their elderly gopis are addressing him in a very informal way. Devotees, sometimes when you translate, you have to translate the hidden cultural context behind it. So, hey Krishna, they say in Bhajan, hey Chora, someone like, hey Chokra, hey Krishna, the elderly gopis are, hey Krishna. Matra kucha chuchu kachushane pi nalam. Your lower lip was not even able to properly grab onto Mother Yashoda's milk, breast milk. Few days ago we saw you were struggling even to drink breast milk. Not many days have passed. So those of us who are mothers, parents, we know children initially they can't latch on to breast milk. So tenadyate katipayeshu dineshu akasma. Last few days we are seeing that using that very same lower lip, you are playing flute very nicely. Kasmat Guru Radhikata. Which Guru? Adhikata, have you approached Kalavenu Vada to learn this? As soon as Krishna knew that my secret is being spilled, he suddenly changed the tune and played a wrong tune to give them the impression that I don't know how to play right now. So, devotees, what you are experiencing right now, some of you are laughing, alright? It is a semblance. A very small semblance of a ras called as Hasya ras. Which ras, dear devotees? Hasya ras. Very small semblance. This is a secondary bhakti ras. I hope you are able to understand. This is a which bhakti ras? Secondary. Primary bhakti ras here is Vatsalya. I hope you are able to understand. That Vatsalya was in Hey Krishna. I told you in the beginning. I hope you are able to understand. Hey Chokra. So that, dear devotees, that is how the elderly gopis of Vrindavan are calling out to Shri Krishna. Now those who are empathizing with those elderly gopis will be able to feel that affection towards Bhagavan. And when you start feeling that affection in a very consistent manner, dear devotees, at that point of time, gradually Lobha has arisen. So this is the translation of that particular verse. Prabhu, please read the translation.
O Krishna, that lower lip of yours was incapable of even properly suckling upon the breast nipple of your mother. Please tell us, which guru did you approach recently to quickly attain expertise in melodious flute play using that same lower lip?
This is Sri Kavi Karnapur's Anand Vrindavan Champu. Acha, dear devotees, think about this pastime and go to sleep at night. Next morning you are waking up with a very fresh mind, dear devotees. And with that same feeling of affection, please speak with me. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Little affection we found, little affection. Even if we find a small molecule of this affection somewhere, we want it. We don't want to let it. This substance cannot be found anywhere on planet Earth so easily. It is found only with the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are teaching us, like Sri Kavi Karnapur. Wherever you find it, don't lose it, dear devotees. It is the rarest of the rare substance on this planet. That feeling of genuine affection for Bhagavan, dear devotees. Because that feeling of affection is what will drive us finally into the final great goal, Shri Krishna Prem. Dear devotees, another day, our Bhagavan is half asleep, in the middle of the night, dear devotees. And suddenly he wakes up and he asks Mother Yashoda, I am very hungry. So he just climbs on her lap. The devotee Sri Rupa Goswami describes a beautiful verse at this point of time. This verse is in the meter Shardula Vikriditam Semashad Goswami Ashtakam. I'll sing, please repeat after me. Ardon militalocanasya pibata paryaptamekam stanam. Ardon militalocanasya pibata paryaptamekam stanam. Sadhya prasnuta dugdha digdhamaparam hastena sammarjata. Sadhya prasnuta dugdha digdhamaparam hastena sammarjata. Matra changulilalitasya vadane smerayamane muhu. Matra changulilalitasya vadane smerayamane muhu. Vishnu kshira kanurudham dhavala danta dyute pantuva. Vishnu kshira kanurudham dhavala danta dyute pantuva. Bhagavan is half asleep in the lap of Mother Yashoda. Ardhon militalocanasya, half asleep. Everybody is half eyes are open, half asleep. You can imagine the situation of Sri Krishna in her lap. Ardhon milita, half open eyes. Locanasya pibata, as he is drinking her breast milk. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Paryaptamekam stanam, one breast is sufficient for him. Dear devotees. But suddenly he notices something. Sadhya prasnuta dugdha digdhamaparam. From the other breast of Mother Yashoda also there is milk flowing. So he doesn't want his most precious resource to be wasted. So what he does? He caresses. Hastena sammarjata. He wipes it. Arey, let it not flow from me. I don't want it to be wasted. Mother Yashoda thinks, arey, he is caressing me. My boy. Matra changulilalitasya. In return, she also caresses him under the chin. So, as soon as she caresses, vadane smerai, with half open eyes, he smiles. Devotees. But when he smiles, only two teeth are there. Vishnu kshira kanurudham dhavala. Oh, these are teeth which are brighter than the entirety of milk ocean. Devotees. Dantadyuti, may this effulgence of these two teeth, pantuva, protect all of you. Acha, big question. How can the two teeth of Bhagavan protect all of them? Whenever I heard such verses, I was like, may Bhagavan protect you looks good. Huh? May the two teeth of Bhagavan. Well, these two teeth, will they be able to protect themselves? Because my mind is thinking like this. So, dear devotees, the meaning of this is that especially at the most crucial moment of our life, especially at death, when our final few breaths are going on, dear devotees, if on those final moments when all the other senses have stopped working, and when only the living entity is situated in which part of the body, dear devotees? Heart. With the final capability of smaran that is remaining in the heart, dear devotees, may these two teeth, the memory of these two teeth come at that final moment. And when you close your eyes, next time you open, you will be in the direct presence of Shri Krishna. That, dear devotees, may these two teeth protect all of you when you need it the most. That is the meaning of the verse. Here is the translation. Kindly.
While drinking Mother Yashoda's breast milk with half closed eyes, it was clear that one breast was sufficient for him. However, he saw milk dripping from the other breast and tried to wipe it off with his hands. Mother Yashoda too reciprocated by caressing his chin with her fingers, and he suddenly smiled to reveal his two white teeth. May these two effulgent teeth that are as white as the milk ocean protect all of you.
Dear devotees. So this, dear devotees, is gradual affection. Affection is attained by Shravan Dasha. You need to become hungry for Shravan. And Shravan of Bhagavan's name, form, qualities, pastimes. This is that medicine, dear devotees. This is that medicine which gradually gives you that affection which can easily drive away all material desires. Once you have experienced bhakti ras, all other ras will fade in front of bhakti ras. And gradually this affection will overtake your heart. And once it overtakes your heart, then you have achieved the goal of being a Gaudiya Vaishnava. I hope you are able to understand. It was not rocket science. It was, in one way it was, but it was not so difficult. Only you need to understand it from a proper source, dear devotees. Once you understand it properly, then follow it nicely with the proper attitude, dear devotees. So, dear devotees, another particular day, our Bhagavan went to sleep as a child. And he has a habit of blabbering in the middle of the night. So one fine day, in the middle of the night, our Shri Krishna started blabbering. So Shri Rupa Goswami describes this blabbering of Bhagavan. See, it produces hasya. Our Bhagavan, you can see him, dear devotees, is sleeping, and it's a very wonderful sight. And sometimes in the middle of the night, our Bhagavan starts blabbering, dear devotees. Acha, that particular day, something had happened. That particular day, Krishna was seeing that Nanda Maharaj is eagerly preparing for something. So he asked Nanda Maharaj, Baba, what are you doing? So Nanda Maharaj said, I am preparing for yajna. Acha, which yajna? Are, for Indra. Acha, who is Indra? You don't know who is Indra? Huh? Are, Krishna. Indra is the ruler of Swarga, heaven. Acha. So that night, Krishna is dreaming that he has become the new ruler of Swarga. Middle of the night, our Bhagavan is blabbering something. Dear devotees. Shambho swagatamasya tamida ito vamena padmodbhava. Shambho swagatamasya tamida ito vamena padmodbhava. Kramchare kushalam sukham surapate viteshano drishyase. Kramchare kushalam sukham surapate viteshano drishyase. Itham swapnagatasya kaitavaripo shrutva janam yagira. Itham swapnagatasya kaitavaripo shrutva janam yagira. Kim kim balaka jalpasityanuchitam thut kritam patuva. Kim kim balaka jalpasityanuchitam thut kritam patuva. The middle of the night he is blabbering, he is thinking I am the new king of Swarga. Shambho swagatamasyatam. Shambho, Shivji, swagatamasya. Are, I am going to come back. Sit here on my right. Sit here. Ita ito, idar idar. Ita ito. Vamena padmodbhava. Padmodbhava, lotus born Brahma. Come sit on the left. Come here. We should look complete Jodi. Brahma, with Shiva and me in between. Not Vishnu, I will be in between there. Kramchare kushalam. Acha Kartike, how are you? You are doing okay? Huh? Sukham Surapate. Acha Indra, I hope you are okay. You are not very unhappy. I dethroned you. I hope you are okay with. Viteshano Drishyase and Kuber. You are not seen much nowadays. Huh? Don't you know who you have to report to? Huh? Kuber is in charge of what devotees treasury. Kuber, no drishya se aajkal Itham swapna gatasya, so all of these dreams. Everybody. Kavita bharipo, our Bhagavan. Shrutva jananya gira, Mother Yashoda heard. What? Shiva, sit on my right. Brahma, sit on my left. Kartikeya, everything okay. These are deities we are worshipping on the altar. Kim Kim Balak Jalpasi. What nonsense are you uttering, Krishna? And then to wake up Krishna. Oh! What happened? Don't speak such nonsense again, Krishna. Shirupa Goswami says, Thu Thu Kritam Patuva. May this act of Thu Thu protect all of you, dear devotees. Remember it at the time of death, dear devotees, it will help you. So here is the translation, Prabhu.
Shiva, welcome. Sit down. Brahma, you sit at my left. Kartikeya, all auspiciousness to you. Indra, happiness to you. Kuber, what happened? You are not seen much nowadays. Hearing Krishna say this, Mother Yashoda said, Child, what nonsense are you saying? And proceeded to spit in order to prevent any ill omens. May this action of Mother Yashoda
protect you all. The English translation just spit the original Sanskrit gaze here. Thu Thu Kritam Panduva. Wonderful. See, even the children will learn easily. The children should be taught some of these childhood verses from the scriptures. They should learn these childhood verses. Krishna lifting Govardhan from Padyavali, Krishna dreaming and blabbering in the middle of the night. All that. So children can learn some of these verses from the Padyavali. Okay, wonderful. Acha. This is not only one night affair. Alright. Some other nights, our Bhagavan will again wake up in the middle of the night. He has a habit. Every single night, almost every single night, he will do something to harass Mother Yashoda. Very lovingly, very. Every middle of the night, he will wake up. He woke up in the middle of the night one day, loudly started crying. So Mother Yashoda, the gopis are little. What happened? What happened? All the gopis came. Mother Yashoda is also there. What happened? So they are asking him various questions. Shri Kavi Karnapur in Anand Vrindavan Champu describes, please repeat after me. Kim Shriram na kim uttamam dadinano kim kurchika vanana Kim Shriram na kim uttamam dadinano kim kurchika vanana Miksha kim narakim tavepsitamaho haryanga vinanganam Miksha kim narakim tavepsitamaho haryanga vinanganam Dasyamo na vishida vatsanataram gopyasva matre griho Dasyamo na vishida vatsanataram gopyasva matre griho Panneno ruchirityudangulidala shitam shumalokaya Panneno ruchirityudangulidala shitam shumalokaya Loudly crying in the middle of the night, all the gopis are tensed. King Kshiram, what do you want? Milk? Kshiram? His answer is in the next word, dear devotees. What is that? Na. Na? Kimuttamam dadhi, uttama dadhi. What is uttama dadhi, dear devotees? Best of yogurt. Nano, nahi. Itna आसानी से नहीं देगी. Not so easily. Kim kurchikava. Do you want malai? Kurchika is milk fat. Malai. You know? His answer is in the last word. What is the last word? Nana. Nahi. So what do you want? Amiksha. Kim, do you want buttermilk? Nana. किम तवेप्सितमहो तो फिर क्या चाहिए क्या what do you want Hayyangavinam I want stretch in both hands I want big ball of butter in middle 12 o'clock in the night अच्छा ठीक है दास्यामो we will give na vishida don't be angry Nataram kupyas, but don't be sad, don't be angry. No, I am very angry. Are Mother Yashoda is bringing? No. Matre grihatpanne no ruchir. I don't like anything cooked at my home by my mother. I don't anything cooked. Acha, dear devotees, how many parents have had the experience that children don't like home cooked food? Please raise your hands. Don't worry, dear devotees. Evam parampara praptam. This confidential knowledge was received in Guru Parampara. Grihoutpanne no ruchir. Garta nahi chalega. I don't want this butter made by Mother Yashoda. From where do you want? Udangulidala. You see that big ball of butter? He showed pointed in the sky. Devotees. I hope you are able to understand. Shitam Shumalokayat. I want that. Achha. Middle of the night. So Mother Yashoda at that point of time did not know what to do immediately. So she tried the usual trick which he tries with Krishna. See, sometimes she lies to Krishna in order to get things done. And nowadays they teach parents that you should speak the absolute truth. Don't speak lies or something like that. But dear devotees, back in those days, she would trick Krishna by speaking some lies. So sometimes Krishna would not wake up early in the morning. Sometimes Krishna also doesn't wake up for Mangal Aarti. Krishna would not wake up Krishna wouldn't wake up early in the morning. So it's described in the Gopal Champu. Mother Yashoda would say, hey, Krishna, wake up. So, no, I don't want to wake up. So she would pull on his chadar. So he'll also pull back. So then she would say, Krishna, wake up. Don't you know which day it is? Which day? It's your birthday. Many gifts are waiting for you. Bring the gift. No. Nanda Maharaj will be very unhappy if you open the gifts without taking a bath. Chalo, many gifts are waiting. Chalo, let's take a bath. So Krishna would go rubbing his eyes. She would take him to the place with the warm water. And then she would pour few tumblers of warm water. And then, wait a minute, wasn't my birthday a few days ago? By that time, it is already very late. So this is... So like this, sometimes she will lie to Krishna to get her way. So here also he is asking for something. What is he asking for, dear devotees? The moon. So Mother Yashoda then says something. Sri Kavi Karnapur describes. Please read that. Kalayana pitareta Dhantahayyangavinam Pratarati kalahamso Vyomaviti tadagam Ahamapi kalahamsam Prarthaye khelanati Tadupanayata yavam Naishaparam prayati. So this cannot be translated into English so easily. Kalayana, Peter, dear devotees, I will translate into Hindi. then you can पितर अरे मेरे बाप पितर कल समझो मेरे बाप पितर. How do you translate that to English? Those who know Hindi, they will know. अरे मेरे बाप सुनो. Galayana na etadhanta hayyangavinam. This is not a big ball of butter. So then what is it? Arey, look in the sky. Pratarati kalahamso vyomaviti tadagam. That is a big white swan swimming in that dark ocean of the sky. Oh. Aham api kalahamsam. I also want a swan. I want to play with the swan. All Nanda Maharaj has the ugly peacocks. Tadupana yata yavan. Quickly bring that swan. It is gradually going on the other side. Before it reaches the other side, bring that swan quickly. Earlier he wanted the moon. Now he wants the swan. Problem is the same, devotees, we can't get him what he wants. Then Mother Yashoda tells him the truth, but mixed with little lies. Hopefully this will work. The verse is in the meter, Vasanta Tilakam. Please repeat after me. Hayyam aviramidameva narajahamsa.
Hayyam aviramidameva narajahamsa.
Piyusharashmirapi naishana tadpradeyam.
Piyusharashmirapi naishana tadpradeyam.
Pashyat daiva vashato garalam vilagnam.
Pashyat daiva vashato garalam vilagnam.
Tenaidaduttamamabihana kopi bhunte.
Tenaidaduttamamabihana kopi bhunte.
Aksha Krishna, I'll tell you now here carefully. Hayyanga vinam idam eva narajahamsa. This is neither butter nor a swan. Acha, so you were lying to me, isn't it? Acha, Krishna, here. Piyusharashmi, this is that nectar red moon. Oh wow. I also want to taste nectar. Na tat pradayam, we can't give you. Acha, why can't you give me? Pashyatra, look there on the moon. Can you see the dark spots, Krishna? Daiva vashato, unfortunately, garalam vilagnam, some poison has spilled on the moon. Tainai taduttamamapi, although it is the best nectar, na kopi bhumte, nobody drinks that nectar. Acha, can you tell me how poison spilled on the moon? Hare Krishna, that is a long story. I would love a long story. Krishna, listen. Long ago, there was a big fight between the devatas and the demons. And they wanted this nectar. And they wanted to churn the milk ocean in order to bring about this nectar. Milk ocean? How many cows are needed to make an ocean? Krishna, this ocean was not made using cows. Nah, I have never seen any milk that doesn't come from cows. All milk comes from cows. No, Krishna. This milk came directly from Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? Devotees, Krishna is asking, who is Bhagavan? So Mother Yashoda says, Vishnu is Bhagavan. So why can't I see Vishnu? Then Mother Yashoda replies. What she replies, please repeat after me. Why can't I see Vishnu? Because Bhagavan is Aga. Aga, he never goes anywhere. He stays in the milk ocean. He is Aga. So he cannot be seen. Little did she know that inadvertently she had spoken a big philosophical truth. Please repeat after me. Because Bhagavan is a Ga. A without the syllable Ga. You remove the syllable Ga from Bhagavan, what remains, dear devotees, is Bhavan. And what is the meaning of Bhavan in Sanskrit? You. So inadvertently, Mother Yashoda ended up saying Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, even without realizing it, dear devotees. Then Mother Yashoda said, okay, then Krishna, when the ocean was being churned, suddenly the moon came out first. No, suddenly poison came out. And when poison came out, everybody was threatened. And dear Krishna, when poison came out, everybody ran to that one person for protection. Do you know Krishna whom everybody ran for protection? No. Bhagavan Shiva. Krishna, whenever you are in danger, you should also take shelter of Bhagavan Shiva. Okay, definitely. Then Bhagavan Shiva took all that poison and he was drinking. And you know Krishna, what happens when you are drinking with both your hands? Some of that poison started spilling. At that time, the moon was coming out of the ocean. And dear Krishna, some poison spilled on the moon. Now you understand Krishna? No reply. Enough trouble for that night. That is so in this way, dear devotees, our Bhagavan would have so many childhood pastimes. Gradually, every childhood he would perform every night he would perform so many wonderful pastimes. Devotees who are gradually attracted to this mood of the Vrajavasis will find their attachment, affection, dear devotees. I hope you are able to understand. Affection towards these pastimes. Because affection is a byproduct of aspiring for the mood of the Vrajavasis, eternal Vrajavasis. Original affection is found only with the residents of Sri Vrindavan. Affection cannot be produced in the material world. There is no affection for Bhagavan in this material world. Affection for Bhagavan exists only with one category of devotees. Which devotees are the devotees? The eternal associates of Bhagavan. And then the devotees gradually, Bhagavan grew up. This is the final verse for today. Bhagavan grew up, became adolescent. In adolescence, dear devotees, Bhagavan celebrated Holi. And in Holi, there is always Gali. In Holi, there is always a little Gali. Dear devotees, this is Holi. Did you see, dear devotees? This is the pastimes of Holi, dear devotees. Okay. So, Sri Jiva Goswami describes the Holi pastime, dear devotees. In Holi, previously when Krishna used to play Holi when he was younger, smaller, he used to play in his own friend circle. He wouldn't bother with the gopis. Then gradually they grew up and this rivalry began, dear devotees. So then Sri Krishna's side is, and all the gopis on the other side, they started preparing for Holi. There was going to be war that day. So everybody started preparing for war. They had bought big pichkari, water spraying guns. They prepared big colors to humiliate each other. So Krishna thought it is a good strategy to send a messenger to the other side to find out what is going on. Sri Jiva Goswami describes. So Sri Krishna sent Madhu Mangal from his side to find out what is going on. Madhu Mangal went to the other side and said, I come in peace. I just want to find if everything is okay with all of you. So all the gopis, they took Madhu, yeah, come here. Come here. So, you want to know what is going on the other side. So they tied him up. And then they painted one round black circle around his head and red half face black. I hope you are able to understand. And put the clothes of a lady on him. That is how they treated the messenger of Krishna. And then Srimati Radharani said, we should also send a messenger there because we should also find out what is going on at that side. So they sent a very elderly gopi so that they would not have any doubt that she is from the camp of Srimati Radharani. So the elderly gopi came into Krishna and said, yeah, nice preparations are going on, are you planning to attack somebody or something? So Krishna understood, Acha. Come here. I will tell you my plans. So then all the boys, they tied up that gopi. And they drew mustache on her.
Oh my god.
So she looked like a man. And finally, when both groups came close to each other, Srimati Radharani said, you sent a messenger. And she brought forth Madhumangal. This is a beautiful girl. You might recognize. If possible, find a good husband for her. Then Krishna forwarded, this is a good husband. So Sri Jiva Goswami describes in Gopal Champur, it came to war, devotees. And then there was Gali. I hope you are able to, there was Gali. And Sri Jiva Goswami describes, Narmanga Gali Rudaka Kshipayantra Yukte
Narmanga Gali Rudaka Kshipayantra Yukte
Tandi Prapatana Nivartana Keli Riti
Tandi Prapatana Nivartana Keli Riti
Kanta Kritivyati Kritagrahanam Sakina
Kanta Kritivyati Kritagrahanam Sakina
Sahayakam Yudhi Babau Hari Horikaya
Sahayakam Yudhi Babau Hari Horikaya
Narmanga Gali. First or foremost, there was exchange of Gali, which is Narma Anga, which is the most important limb of a loving relationship. Those whom we truly love, we have the courage to give them
Gali.
With everybody else, we have formality like Hare Krishna Prabhu. Those whom we truly love, we have the courage to give them Narmanga Gali. Initially there was exchange of Galis. Udaka Kshipa Yantra. Then there were instruments to spray water. Devotees, and Dandi Prapatana, threatening with sticks. And Nivartana, and protecting oneself. Keli Riti. Kanta Kriti Vyatikrata Grahanam Sakhinam. Falling down and making others fall on the ground. Sahayakam Yudhi, it was Yuddha. Babhau Hari Horikaya in this holy celebration of Shri Krishna. So this is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read.
During holy celebrations, there was Gali, giving loving, abusive words, which are a very important part of a loving relationship. Besides Gali, there was profuse use of water, spraying guns, etc., making others fall down by using sticks, attacks and counterattacks by gopis and Krishna.
So this Sri Jiva Goswami describes is in the Gopal Champu. Devotees, in this way, the devotees always immerse themselves in the pastimes of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Devotees, what we did is just momentary absorption. I hope you are able to understand. It was which absorption? Momentary absorption. But this momentary absorption is not finally sufficient. So I am coming to the end of this presentation. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says something about momentary absorption. Prabhu, kindly read what Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says.
Many sadhakas hear the character and pastimes of Nanda Maharaj, Vatsalya, Subal Sakha, Sakhya, and attain specific delight in hearing such narrations. Sometimes they even show some momentary lobh or bhav. However, such lobh or bhav does not persist and is thus known as kshanik, momentary.
Yeah, so we will hear in the class and it will for some time we may be affected. But when we go back home, it's all wiped out. This is called as which lobh, dear devotee? Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, please read.
This type of bhav lobh will not do. At this time, it will be necessary to see the specific rasa, dasya, sakhya, vatsalya or madhurya, in which the sadhak is naturally inclined.
So only after long association, long practice, proper practice of Vaidhi Bhakti, then this will become fixed in the heart, and with proper association of a guru who teaches us the path of rag, will this become fixed, affection become little fixed in the heart, dear devotees. So this was our second part, dear devotees. I'll pause my speech at this point of time. यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित विद्वांसः पूरयन्तु तत् यदत्र सौष्ठवं किंचित तद्गुरोरेव मे नहि यदत्र स्खलितं किंचित is there anything mistaken in what I said vidvamsah you are learned devotees पूरयन्तु तत् please correct any mistakes but yadatra saushthavam kinchit if there is anything nice please remember tadguroreva it belongs to my gurujanas may nahi it doesn't belong to me thank you very much devotees hare krishna hare krishna Is there some? So it's 5:30 almost, right? So what should we do?
So we can take if there is any pertinent question about what was discussed so far we can do. Otherwise we can take a short break. Not enough, a short break, and then we'll start again.
What time should we start again?
So it is 5:30.
5:50.
Huh?
Yeah. So devotees can.
5:50.
5:50 is good. We have a 20-minute break, so you can do whatever you want.
Stretch. So any questions so far, or you want to wait till the end of the presentation? Okay, Amika.
Yeah.
I loved the part where that sort of name for Krishna is yours.
So Priyanam.
So Wonderful.
Any other question so far?
Okay.
So we'll meet at 5:50.
5:50.
Haribo.